You ever have one of those moments where you realize you just stepped into a mess so wild you couldn't make it up if you tried? That was me standing on the porch of my brand new lakeside cabin, box of kitchen stuff in my hands, watching a woman I'd never met scream at me like I'd just robbed a bank. "This lake belongs to Emmy and you'll never use it again." That's what she actually shouted right after calling the cops on my U-Haul, like I was moving in with a criminal enterprise. I mean, who starts a neighbor relationship that way? I remember thinking, yeah, okay, I guess every neighborhood's got one, but buddy, I had no idea just how far she'd take things until I started digging and found out she'd been pulling shady power moves for years. Let me tell you, when you tangle with the wrong person, sometimes karma comes dressed in a state trooper's uniform and official paperwork, and let's just say the ending was better than any courtroom drama I've ever seen. You want wild? Hang on. My first real introduction to the neighborhood was the sound of fists pounding on my door cops, outside, hand on holster, telling me to step out because of a disturbance. 2 hours earlier, I was just another guy unpacking boxes, riding high on the whole fresh start, feeling buddies joking around, sunshine glinting off the lake just the way I pictured it. The truck was big, I'll give her that. But hey, it's moving day. Where do you park a 26-foot moving truck? You know, neighbors are supposed to get it. But then came Rita. Yeah, that's her name. No use changing it. It's too perfect. Imagine the final boss. Karen, mid-50s, hair so perfectly done, you'd swear it had its own insurance sunglasses, like she's going incognito in Hollywood, and a mouth turned down like she just smelled rotten eggs. She stomped across the street, didn't say hi, didn't even introduce herself, just started barking at me about private property and destroying home values. I set my box down, tried my friendliest voice. "Ma'am, sorry if the truck's in the way, we'll be done soon, promise," but she wasn't hearing any of it. Before I could finish, she was on the phone dialing 911, yelling to the dispatcher that there was a trespasser with an unauthorized vehicle. My friends were looking at me like, is this real life? And honestly, I didn't know whether to laugh or start looking for hidden cameras. 15 minutes later, 2 cops roll up. The older one gives Rita this look like, "Here we go again," and the younger guy already looks annoyed before he's even out of the car. They check my paperwork, confirm I live there, and politely ask if I can wrap it up a bit quicker, just for the sake of peace. I tell them, sure thing. No point fighting over something this dumb. The best part, as they're leaving, they tell Rita point blank to stop wasting police resources. But walking away, I realized this wasn't a misunderstanding. Rita wanted to control everything, including me on my own property. And the more I thought about it, the madder I got. She had no idea who she was messing with. Let me back up a sec. After my friends left, I couldn't sleep. Something about the way she talked about the lake, about the HOA rules, just bugged me. So I did what any modern human does at 2 a.m. I dove into the paperwork. Deed closing documents, HOA rules all spread out across my kitchen table. Most of it was standard, don't paint your house neon, pick up after your dog. But the lake stuff was weird, full of legal gobbledygook about community stewardship, historical usage rights. Never actually saying the HOA owned it, just acting like they did. Next morning I did some recon. Walter, 2 doors down, was out with his roses, salt of the earth kind of guy. He gave me a proper welcome, apologized for Rita, and over coffee told me stories that made my blood boil. Turns out Rita had forced out 3 families in 2 years. She got one family fined into moving for their dogs barking, got code enforcement called so many times the folks across the street just packed up and left. And the lake used to be public, Walter said. Kids learned to swim there, birthday parties, fishing, all that. Then Rita became president, slapped up the members-only signs, and suddenly you needed her blessing just to skip a rock. Jenny, across the lake, had tears in her eyes when I brought up the beach. Rita banned my kids, she told me, voice trembling, said it was HOA members only, threatened to call the cops on my little girl. It hit me that this wasn't about some HOA busybody. This was about someone stealing childhood memories, cutting neighbors off from the place they loved, all to stroke her own ego. How many other people had she scared off? Jenny just shook her head. Everyone's too scared. Rita knows city council, knows code enforcement. She'll make your life hell if you stand up to her. Over the next few days, the harassment ramped up. Violation notices for grass too long, $500 fines, fresh signs. No fishing. Private property violators will be prosecuted. She patrolled in her golf cart taking pictures and then, no joke, installed a security camera aimed straight at my door. Not the street, not her own yard, my door. That's when I knew this lady had lost the plot. So I dug deeper: county property records, state databases, anything I could find. And then jackpot. According to the state and federal records, the lake wasn't owned by the HOA. It wasn't even privately owned. It was state property guaranteed public access by law. Rita had been running a con for years, and I was sitting on the receipts. Here's where it got good. Rita decided to hold a Lake Day party: banners, catered food speeches, even local news. Centerpiece banner: welcome to our beautiful private lake. Too good. I printed my evidence, called the Department of Natural Resources, and they confirmed it. Any restriction of public access was a violation, maybe even a federal offense. So picture this: Rita's giving her big speech, basking in the glow, telling everyone how she's protected their exclusive lake. I walk up, megaphone in hand, and ask her to show the deed. She loses it, calls security, aka her husband, who just looks mortified. I hold up the state documents for the crowd, lay it out plain. This lake belongs to the people, not the HOA. The crowd starts checking the state website on their phones. The local realtor dad backs me up. The news camera's rolling as Rita melts down, screaming about conspiracies, calling me an agitator, threatening to call the cops. Guess who shows up? Same cops as moving day. Only now they confirm my documents are legit and tell Rita in front of everyone that she has been breaking the law. The news reporter turns on her neighbors, start coming up to me, thanking me, sharing their own Rita horror stories. Then a state official arrives, issues a formal warning, and announces an investigation. Rita's kingdom crumbles, living in color. You'd think that would be the end, right? Not even close. Next day, I wake up to trespasser alert flyers with my face on them. Rita had turned me into public enemy number one. She called the cops daily, claimed I was casing the neighborhood, but now the officers just shook their heads, told me to keep documenting everything. So I did every call, every bit of vandalism. Yeah, she spray painted my driveway, knocked over my trash cans. I recorded it all. Then came the day she crossed the line, physically grabbed my phone, trying to delete video of her blocking public access. Only the phone was streaming to the cloud. She ranted about her right to the lake, confessed to years of illegal bans, all on video. I filed a formal complaint with the state, handed over everything. The turning point: she filed a false police report, claimed I threatened her, only I had a solid alibi, live on a work call with 12 witnesses. Police had enough. Rita was arrested for filing false reports. Her world crashed down, her reputation, her marriage, her house gone. Then came the big finish. The state sent a full team. Sarah Martinez, the investigator, was all business. They documented everything: illegal signs, witness accounts, Rita's own posts about charging $200 for exclusive access. Turns out she'd made over $30,000 running a literal toll booth on state land. At the emergency HOA meeting, Sarah dropped the bomb: HOA privileges revoked. Rita voted out her own husband, casting the final vote against her. Walter took over, apologized to everyone, and the state pulled down all those fake private lake signs. The next months, the lake turned into what it should have been all along: a real community hub. Kids swimming, families having picnics, no more patrols, no more drama. But Rita, she just faded away. Her husband left. She lost the house. You'd see her sometimes alone by the water, looking so much smaller than the woman who'd tried to run the place like her personal kingdom. And then one night, out on my kayak, I saw her slip on the rocks, tumble into the lake. She couldn't swim. For a moment I hesitated after everything she'd done. Part of me thought, let karma finish this. But that's not how I was raised. I pulled her out, got her to shore, watched her break down in tears, asking, why would you save me? The answer was simple: justice is about righting wrongs, not ruining people forever. A week later, Rita came to my porch, asked to talk. She told me everything: lost her house, her job, her sense of self. She was genuinely broken, not angry, just lost. We talked about consequences, choices, what real justice looks like. That's when I realized I didn't want to see her destroyed. I just wanted the bullying to end. So I wrote a letter to the state asking them to restore some privileges under strict new oversight: public hours, transparency, no more exclusivity, permanent ban on Rita in leadership. When Sarah Martinez called to say they'd not only accepted but wanted to use my proposal as a model, I realized what real leadership can look like. The neighborhood healed. Even Rita, who'd moved away, sent me a note, "Thank you for showing me what real leadership is." What about you? Would you have done the same? Where's the line between justice and revenge? Drop your thoughts below. Let's see what real community looks like.